That is great.
I think I've told this.
Well
I don't know if
done.
I've told this on the podcast before, but I used to work at ArcLight as a bartender, and sometimes people would also come up and have like tea and coffee espresso orders, which I also would make. One day, Kevin Pollak came in with his family. Thankfully, he came to the bar by himself to do this, so he was the only person to hear me say this. But we had a very like simple customer interaction at first, and then the whole time I was making his espresso, I was kind of just trying to think to myself, like, what is the name of house arrest, basically? Like, I was just thinking there, I was like, it's Jamie Lee Curtis, it's Wallace Shawn, like, and I just couldn't come up with the name for that movie. For some reason, the only fucking movie that stuck out of my head was End of Days, which was like a really
Was
early
End of Days.
rated R movie that I kind of like. Actually, if you don't like End of Days, I could talk positive on that movie because I kind of think End of Days kind of rules. But
That means I have to watch End of Days.
but when I turned around to Kevin Pollak to give him his coffee drink when I was working at this bar, espresso bar, I said, "By the way, I really loved you in End of Days," and he just looked at me with such contempt in his eyes, just such like annoyance in his eyes. And it was just like, yeah, I lit on fire real good in that movie and just like turned and walked away. And I was just like, oh shit, I was trying to be nice. I never have
That's
good
so
interactions
funny.
with actors whenever I interact with them in public. Like when I saw Ty Burrell in public, once again, also at the bar, I went to like serve him a drink. And the entire time, the only thing I could think of was Dawn of the Dead. And he was there with his kids. And I'm just like, I'm not mentioning this movie in front of them.
Yeah, and you also don't have to mention, you don't have to tell every person you meet what movie they're good in. I mean, I've done it a few times as well. Sometimes you're like, look, I usually don't do this, but like,
No, but that's what it is.
It's-
Like when I saw Kevin Pollak, it was a visceral reaction of like, "Oh my gosh, he's in this movie from my childhood that I can't remember the name of," and like I
Yeah,
was
that's
looking
so
away.
funny.
I was looking away when Ty Burrell approached the bar, and I just heard his voice say, "Excuse me," and I instantly was like, oh, "Ty Burrell," and I like turned around and just saw him, and it was like
That's
so
so funny.
shocking.